It never occurred to me to think about maternal mental health disorders when my husband and I first started talking about kids. So I was totally blindsided when perinatal OCD came in and just turned my world completely upside down. In hindsight, I can pinpoint what triggered it. It was in my first pregnancy, at my first doctor's appointment. I was told to wash all fruits and vegetables thoroughly with soap and water to avoid potentially eating anything that could be contaminated with listeria, because that could be harmful and at times fatal to unborn babies. That started me washing everything. And then that turned into me asking someone else to wash them for me. And then that turned into maybe they didn't wash them well enough. I just shouldn't have any fruits or vegetables. This way of if this, then that thinking quickly became my everyday normal. I didn't see it as really irrational at first. I figured I'm going to be a new mom. Of course, I'm concerned about the well being of my baby. Instead, what I was doing was creating the perfect environment for my OCD to take hold and flourish. So, this was the start of my years long struggle with perinatal OCD. My mom figured out that I had OCD, but I wasn't really convinced at first because I didn't fit the OCD stereotypes that I was familiar with. So, once I learned more about OCD, I felt this tremendous relief because I finally had a name for everything that was going on in my life. It made it slightly less terrifying and gave me a little bit of hope that it was fixable. Finding the right therapist was challenging and discouraging in the beginning. I felt this extreme urgency to be my old self again and was upset that I wasn't able to just snap out of this, no matter how badly I wanted it. I saw 3 different therapists, and after about 6 or 7 months, I really wasn't confident that any of them could help me. And I reluctantly tried medication, which wasn't a good thing for me personally. I do know of many stories where medication has been life-changing. So treatment is really a process and it's individualized. And I learned that sometimes it can be really hard to say something doesn't work for you, especially when it works so well for many other people. So between not finding the right therapist and not having success with medication, I basically just gave up on the idea of therapy and treatment altogether. After realizing that trying to ignore my OCD was not a good plan, I knew I had to find an experienced specialist in OCD therapy. OCD is a very complex and often misunderstood and misdiagnosed disorder. So I finally found the right therapist. I knew that because I felt understood, I trusted them, and despite being asked regularly to do things that I found truly terrifying and challenging, I felt confident and safe in their care. I say that I have controlled perinatal OCD now, which means that it no longer has a part in my daily life. On the very rare occasion that an OCD thought pops up, I'm able to just kind of deal with it, quickly dismiss it, and move on. But it took years of intensive therapy and brutal practice to get to the point where I am today. However, every bit of that struggle was worth it to be here now. It's exactly how I got connected with the ICDF. I wanted to offer support to other moms who were going through the same thing that I had, were struggling. Um, I was lucky enough to be put in touch with some amazing and supportive people at the ICDF. I was asked to be part of a task force subcommittee that helped work on the ICDF Perinatal OCD Resource Center. Through that, I met another mom who had a similar story to my own, and we ended up co-facilitating a group for moms with perinatal OCD that was run through PSI in partnership with the ICDF. It turns out there was so much need for this group. It was like far greater than expected, and now the group is offered multiple times each month. I have chosen to openly talk about my story and share what I've learned over the last 9 years so other people don't have to expend the energy on the things I wish I had known. I love being able to help people skip the unnecessary challenges and instead go straight to the possibility of getting proper help and feeling better much sooner than later.